What are the advantages and drawbacks of both adamantium and vibranium, and which of the metals is truly better in the long run? These two metals are some of the strongest that the Earth has to offer in the Marvel comics, as they have been utilized in some of the strongest tools and weapons known to humanity. While the gods may possess uru or adamantine at their disposal, Earth wears its supply of vibranium and adamantium with a badge of honor, as they each have traits and properties that make them desirable for anyone who would need a superheroic weapon. So today, let's talk about the advantages and disadvantages of both metals and compare their abilities. Vibranium in the comics only comes from a select few places on the planet, with the two biggest deposits being in Wakanda and Antarctica, but the metal is still exceedingly difficult to come by even here. Vibranium ore can be fashioned into any number of different tools and gadgets, but the dominant upside to vibranium comes with its versatility, which we'll talk more about in just a minute. Adamantium, though, is artificial, and since it's a man-made alloy which could be developed over the course of several years, it has gone through a few different versions. Originally, it was a project by Dr. Myron McLean, who in World War II had attempts to replicate vibranium artificially, and resulted in the creation of Captain America's iconic shield. His shield in the comics is actually a hybridized alloy of the two metals together. As the research and development of adamantium developed, however, the exact properties began to become recorded, and the process of creating adamantium is described as mixing chemical resins together at 1500 degrees Celsius, or a little over 2700 degrees Fahrenheit. Once this is done, a scientist has 8 minutes to craft the adamantium into whatever shape or form they want, because after those 8 minutes, the alloy will set and is almost impossible to modify following. This makes adamantium notoriously difficult to work with, and creating adamantium weaponry and tools is incredibly complex and volatile. But the trade-off is that adamantium becomes nearly indestructible when done right. This is the process used to create what is called true adamantium, but as we said before, there are a few different variants of adamantium in the Marvel universe. Proto-adamantium has only been crafted a single time, and it was the alloy used to create Captain America's shield, which has never been replicated. And this unique mixture of adamantium and vibranium makes Cap's shield one of the single most durable items in all of the Marvel universe. But for this comparison, we're going to be talking about mostly true adamantium, not the metal that makes up Cap's shield. Secondary adamantium is a cheaper alternative which isn't as strong or durable as true adamantium is. But true adamantium is what we find in Wolverine's skeleton, so we'll be using that as the primary point of comparison. We also won't be talking a ton about Captain America's shield outside of the MCU, simply because this shield is a perfect hybrid of both metals. We can't exactly use his shield to compare talking points because both metals are at play, unless we're referring specifically to the MCU, which doesn't have adamantium in it, only vibranium. Vibranium, however, is an ore that can be mined from the depths of Wakanda, and this ore is much easier to craft and form into whatever shape that the smith wishes. This is what supplies the armies of Wakanda with their most powerful science and technology, including the Black Panther suit and his blades. Vibranium and adamantium have clashed before in the comics, and in a few instances, adamantium has shown to be capable of slicing through thin layers of vibranium. Wolverine has been able to cut through the vibranium weave which makes up the Black Panther suit before, but adamantium is generally shown to have a higher constitution than vibranium does. To date, the only forces that have been able to bend or damage adamantium were circumstances that occurred not of Earth. It actually took the power of the Odin Force or Magneto's highly specialized ability to manipulate metal to contort adamantium after it has been set. But vibranium has only ever been broken on a few occasions as well. In the MCU, we know that Cap's shield is made entirely of vibranium, and is not the proto-adamantium alloy that is depicted in the comics, and is a cinematic landscape. Vibranium has been broken before in the MCU. Thanos quite famously has been able to chip away at Captain America's shield, and Ultron's adamantium body was warped and broken by the combined efforts of Iron Man, Vision, and Thor. In the comics, however, breaking adamantium is much more difficult than in the MCU. While vibranium may be marginally easier to destroy, it does come with substantial upsides as well, mainly its scientific applications. Being a nigh indestructible metal is just one of vibranium's assets, but it's much more versatile than adamantium is. The Kingdom of Wakanda has pioneered some of the most advanced science and technology using vibranium's ability to harness kinetic energies. T'Challa once was able to create a jet that was not only faster and quieter than a regular fighter jet, but he also used a vibranium mesh to fabricate a cloaking field capable of absorbing electromagnetic energy in the atmosphere and bending it to make the plane appear as invisible. In the same breath, T'Challa talks about vibranium's ability to manipulate the energy that bonds molecules together, and this is a massive deal reveal why many think Vibranium is superior to Adamantium. T'Challa implies that Vibranium can quite literally be used to rearrange matter at an atomic level if the proper science was ever figured out. There are also several types of Vibranium as well, and Wakandan Vibranium is probably best known for its energy-based properties, but Antarctic Vibranium has been used to nullify other metals before. It can disrupt the bonds between atoms just like we mentioned earlier, but this means that it substantially weakens whatever weapons it comes up against. Antarctic Vibranium, or antimetal, has been able to break some of the most durable weapons in the world with its property, including examples of Adamantium. Vibranium is lightweight, incredibly flexible, and can be crafted into just about anything with any number of different benefits that Adamantium simply cannot touch. T'Challa wishes to create a city with Vibranium supports, so that in the event of an earthquake, the energy would be stored and could be used to power the city afterwards. This means that Vibranium is much more applicable to any given situation. Black Panther's suit also allows him to walk on water or create magnetic forces between himself and walls when he has the right momentum by using properties of Vibranium. Not only this though, but it was the vibrations and energy being released from Vibranium that created the heart-shaped herb, which grants those who consume the herb enhanced strength, speed, and senses. We've actually theorized before that the herb may have also been a key ingredient in the Super Soldier program, but we won't dive too deeply into that idea here. The point of all of this is to say that Vibranium is everywhere and can be used for a myriad of different purposes, while Adamantium is generally only used in brute force weapons and tools. This now comes down to context when deciding which one is more powerful or which one is a better fit given a situation. If the objective is simply to have an incredibly hard and extremely durable plate or blade, then Adamantium is absolutely the way to go, as it stands up far better to brute force punishment. But this also comes with downsides. Once it is crafted, it cannot be uncrafted or molded in any other way. It is much heavier than Vibranium is, and is much more tedious and cumbersome to work with. Vibranium, on the other hand, is far easier to manipulate if the smith understands how it functions, and the sheer variety of the different Vibranium applications is absurd. It can be woven into lightweight fabrics like the Black Panther suit, and even though Wolverine's claws can cut through this mesh, the weave used is far more durable than just about any other super suit in all of comics. This is a rare exception where the Black Panther suit was able to be damaged, and in a vast majority of the conflicts, however, Vibranium weave is more than enough to keep up with just about anything, especially the Earth can throw at T'Challa. The scientific applications of Vibranium can arm a nation with weapons that go far beyond hard blades, but Vibranium-based armies have stealth fighter jets, energy cannons, virtually weightless armor, better mobility, as well as the price of labor being much easier to work with. Overall, the vast majority of situations, Vibranium seems to be a better bet, but in the realm of durability and outright strength, Adamantium has been shown to be superior. But anyway friends, what do you think of this comparison between the two most iconic metals in the Marvel Universe? Is one of them wholly superior over the other, or is this something that largely depends on context and specific applications? And what are your thoughts on our assessment of the versatility of Vibranium? And given all of this, who would you prefer to have on your side? A smith capable of shaping either of them into weapons and tools of your choosing? And how would you apply the knowledge and experience with each of them? As always, my friends, Hulk smash that subscribe button for more Marvel lore, and have a great day.